It is time to combine all the Xros Heart powers together for the final DIGIXROS with Shoutmon Cross 7 Superior Mode. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the Shoutmon Cross 7 Superior Mode and brand new updated Xros Heart deck. With the final boss Digimon of the deck now here, we can bottom deck any of our opponent's Digimon. Like always, I'll be showing you guys how to pull off that combo later, but first, let's get into the build and see what the new changes are. Just before we continue with the video, I also want to share with you guys our latest battles series with Domix, where we both played Jesmon and RagnaLoardmon against each other. First part with the starter decks, and the second part with the other full power versions, clashing against each other. Want to see who comes out on top? Then be sure to check out the videos after watching this as well, as links will be left in the description box down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like, as it really helps, and I appreciate the support from all of you. Okay, like always, starting with Digi 8 cards, 4 Pikmons is still the way to go, giving you when attacking draw 1, as long as that's Xros Heart, draw power is great, like I always talk about, so these are the 4 eggs that you only need for the deck. Moving into our rookies, still the 4 copies of Shoutmon, being able to search, hard playing for 4 is not too bad. Digivolving as well is okay, so then you can save and swing and do that sort of typical combos. Still very important with the rush, because when you hard play and Digicross stuff, you do want to be able to swing with its inhurtable, so then all your Shoutmon crosses can go for the attacks and go for the aggression, which is always super key to the deck. Then 4 copies of Sparrowmon, also one of your best beaters in the early stage of the game, because it is essentially 5k all turns. And yeah, when you have another Digimon and Tamer with Xros Heart, which you always really do, it will gain that 3000 on deletion save, reboot. Really important to be your core pieces as you're building towards your top end stuff as well, and really needed, so definitely a 4 of. Same idea with Starmons right here, with the on deletion save and the exact same inhurtable as Pikmons, letting you have more draw power when you do so, and a very crucial piece when you're building again to your top end stuff. So that's the 4 copies you want to see. And then last but not least, for the rookies, then I just want to play 1 Shoutmon plus Star Sword, just for the versatility. Great for removing smaller stuff, great for removing rookies, floodgate stuff as well especially, and very versatile with its digicrossing, and can be either a Shoutmon or a Starmon at the same time with its name, is going to come in handy, kind of like a 2-for-1 wild card, which is always nice. That's it for all our rookies. Let's talk about our level 4s. Still simple, 4 copies of Ballista, piercing with its inhurtable, being a blocker as well, and yeah, just your defensive tool that you must have. And then of course, 4 copies of Darulu, also a really good card just to remove for smaller stuff, especially being floodgate rookies that stop you from digicrossing and reducing your costs. Being able to minus 3000 DP is great, minusing 2000 DP to your opponent's security with its inhurtable during your turn is also going to be nice, ensuring that you survive your checks sometimes, so that it's always great. And of course, 4 copies is the way to go. This time for the newer stuff, I guess like from the last time, we now play 3 copies of Cross 3 instead, because I just want to give more room for other really cool text and sort of newer cards I'd like to add in, which I'll talk about more, but still a very important card, because it can just help you search in your early stages of the game. Fantastic. And yeah, grabbing 2 hits by revealing top 3 when you're on play is just very crucial, and yeah, fantastic card. So some of you guys can play a 4 of still if you really want the consistency, but I do have to make a bit of room because I want to talk about another newer card again later on. Still, of course, the 1 copy of Cross 4, super powerful card, potentially being able to play it for 1 and then having all those inhurtables for rush, piercing, and being 8k is super strong, with its DP on play being able to draw 2 as well. And then mainly its end of attack effect, you can basically put all your sources underneath your Tamer, unsuspend your Tamer, and go again for another big combo if you ever want to do so. Is very efficient with this card, so you definitely play it no matter what, and you can only have it 1 of. And then as always, I still like my Shoutmon King version, the secret rare one from BT10, just to become a wild card. You know, fulfilling Shoutmon in its name as well is always really nice. And with its on play, being able to grab something that is a Digicross requirement from your trash back to your hand is always nice to cycle something when you need to do so. So yeah, a 1 of tech I definitely like for sure. And then for 1 brand new tech right here, I do want to play one copy of the Shoutmon King from BT12. This is just really good as a one-of, which I really like because first and foremost, on play or when digivolving, unless you play a Taiki for free, otherwise you can play a Yu or Tagiru, but this is mainly for the hunters, but we can play the older Taiki with this one is absolutely value, and potentially being able to Digicross -2 with any one Digimon with save. You can effectively play it for 3, and then you get to get 2 things on the board immediately. Search with your Taiki combo afterwards is actually super nice. And then it does have an inheritable of when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has save in its text, you get to pop something that your opponent has that's 4000 DP or less. Rarely kind of happens because we don't have a whole lot of Digimon that has a save with synergy. But again, like I mentioned, being able to play a Taiki out for free is great. And it also has the on deletion save for itself and placing one Digimon with save in its text from your trash underneath it. So it's really nice. So then you can like add more stacks and sources and whatnot for your potential combos. That's it for the level 4s. Let's quickly talk about our level 5s. One Cross 5 is really all we need. Cross 5 is still really great with all the different effects you can get. Security +1, Reboot, Material Save 3, and can Digicross 2. And the best thing is that you can potentially play this for 0 when you're Digicrossing. So still a really nice card. I definitely still recommend at least one up for sure. And then we have the 2 Omni Shoutmons. Really crucial for our more top end related stuff. And yeah, being able to pop something with 4000 DP or less for when digivolving. It has the on deletion save, but mainly with its inheritable, we can give security +1 to our top end. It's definitely what we're looking for. And then that's it for our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. Of course, still the 2 copies of Z-Greymon right here. Definitely, we're just mainly playing it as for source for the Cross 7, giving it blocker with its inheritable. It does have when digivolving effect, which sometimes is kind of nice, but you rarely ever get to really do it. You really want to just tuck it underneath one of your Tamers if you can, and then just sort of get value and then Digicross and make your plays that way. And it does have on deletion save as well, but then the secondary part of this effect doesn't really apply to this particular deck. So, but yeah, like I mentioned, it's really just for Cross 7. And then of course, like we said, we still have to play Cross 7. I like to play 3 copies of this guy. Just really good control. Great for popping things in the early stages of the game, and you can get so much momentum when you do have the right amount of pieces, and especially if you have all the pieces, you can basically pop really big things and have a really strong boss Digimon on the board to hold the fort, be aggressive, and at the same time, stacking everything all together down to this guy. You can swing for 2 checks, Reboot, Blocker, Pierce, all those really nice inheritables that you can always have is really what he's about. And with his all turns effects of gaining the DP, it can get super large and super big and very difficult to deal with. So definitely still sort of the main boss Digimon of the deck. But now we got the brand new sort of even further boss Digimon of the deck, which is from BT12, 2 copies of Shoutmon Cross 7 Superior Mode. And this is, we're going to spend most of the time talking about this specifically because its first effect is that when you would play this card from your hand, by placing one Shoutmon from play as its Digivolution cards of this Digimon, you get to reduce the play cost by 1 and place cards in your trash as Digivolution cards for its Digicross, which is absolutely fantastic. So you really just need a Shoutmon in your battle area in order for you to do this. On play, it returns all your Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck in any order, and then you return that Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck. Super crucial with this effect because there's a lot of protection going on these days with its inheritables, especially being like War Greymon decks and Black War Greymon decks. But if you're able to bottom deck all their sources first and then send them to the bottom of the deck, they are not able to protect it. This is super good removal for even Quartzmon and anything that has save as well. It's a very good meta counter card, which I think is a very nice addition overall. It also has your turn, all your opponent's security effects on option cards don't activate, being like a built-in ADP, one of the strongest Digimon in the current game in terms of DP, because 17k base is really what this guy is all about, and there's no other Digimon that has 17k base at the current moment. And then with its Digicross, you can have infinite Digicross -1 with as many Xros Heart or Blue Flare traits with different card numbers. And this is hence why we play a lot of tech stuff in this particular newer build. It's because we can utilize this as much as we can. And having that Shoutmon being able to use from trash, and then we can use our Tamers as well and everything. And from our hand, we can build this ultimate boss Digimon. It does cost 15 to play, which is why you want to have as many sources as you can to build this big stack guy out, to basically remove anything in the game, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, just a really nice new strong card that helps nicely in the top end. And there's a lot of situations that this card is just super good, definitely really perfect and very nice for the deck, which definitely makes it useful. And yeah, definitely like it as a tool of, because you do want to see it at times. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our Tamers. As per usual, 4 copies of Taiki is still super important. Searching, adding stuff underneath, letting you digicross underneath from your Tamers as resources is really what he's all about. We talked about a lot about this guy already, so I'm not gonna further explain the cool things you can do with him, and we have a lot of stuff to showcase as we go along anyways. And of course, you still want to play the 3 copies of the triple Tamer. Honestly, the triple Tamer lineup hasn't really changed at all. It's being able to, at the start of your main phase, to slide something underneath it, to gain a memory, draw a card, cycle, and does exactly the same thing as what Taiki does with its secondary effect, letting you use sources underneath your Tamers for your Digicross requirements is really what it's all about. And then there's still the 3 copies of Zenjiro. Being able to let you to play Ballistamon for free is great. Suspending to gain a memory every time you play something with Xros Hearts as well. So very memory efficient Tamer. And then the draw power Tamer, we have the 3 copies of Akari, letting you play Darulomon, so you can minus DP to something small for free, which is great. Suspend her when you play something as Xros Heart to draw 1 card, and that's really all there is. That's it for the 50 card main deck. Let's talk about just some other alternative options that I have. I really don't have much because a lot of them I covered in the older Cross 7 video, and there's nothing too much new to change. But instead of playing 3 copies of Cross 7, you guys can actually take one out to add in 1 Mervamon right here, which is kind of nice. Being able to play 2 things back from your trash, and then of your Cross Hearts, they'll gain Rush and Blocker, is really fantastic. This is not as efficient as the one that focuses on Mervamon, where you can like spit out lots of memory in 1 turn and then play it and then swing lots of. This is more of a defensive card in this deck, just because you're often enough are going to be passing the memory back to your opponent's side quite a lot after bringing out the 2 bodies, but it is kind of handy and nice to have. And it is another Cross Heart with a different name that you can sort of have in the deck, which is definitely nice because it helps with your superior mode. But that's really about it for her. And then just for some fun, like, fan favorite spice, if you do want to go for the final Crossblade for 9 cost, it deletes one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can unsuspend one of your Cross 7 superior mode cards and attack a player with it. So kind of nice. You can swing first with Cross 7 superior mode into your opponent or into something, and then you get to play this, you get to pop something, and then you get to swing again, so you can finish games. Kind of neat. So for 9 costs, it's actually quite a lot to pay. Otherwise, its security effect is kind of basically a Gaia Force. It deletes any of your opponent's Digimon that you want to. And that's really about it with this new card right here. Alright, that's it for all the cards I want to showcase you guys. Let's jump into some of the newer combos and sort of how to play. Mainly for you guys, honestly, the combos haven't changed since my last Cross 7 video. So if you guys want to learn about more in-depth specific combos that I mentioned, be sure to watch that video. I'll leave a link on the top right iCard right here and in the description box down below, so you guys can watch that. And the combos are essentially the same, but this time let's just go over the newer stuff, and it's really very simple. The first simple combo is really just playing the Shoutmon King mode. You can just cross with anything that you have that you would think would be nice, and you just basically pay 3 memory, and you can just immediately just play the Taiki. Taiki will let you search, put something underneath, which is ultimate value, which I really like as this one of Tech Spice. And then it's always nice because like whatever you put in, you give it a variety of effects. If you put Shoutmon underneath, you can just immediately swing with Rush if it's still your turn. Starmons to draw 1 if you want to attack next turn as well. Sparrow for reboot and whatnot. Anything really just will do, and it just works out nicely. That's all I really want to mention, how good this card kind of is, as just as a one-off. But now with the brand new combo, we really want to talk about is playing superior mode. So superior mode, ideally what you really want to have is a Shoutmon on board. It could be from raising, which you had earlier, say like sitting underneath a Pikmons, and let's just say it's ready to go. But the first thing is you want to make sure that you have a lot of cards in your trash that basically have different codes to really help reduce this cost as much as possible. But it's just super good to remove anything your opponent wants, and it's very important to know and identify which particular situation you want to play this. In the current meta, I usually play this card against the War Greymon stack, sometimes against Beelzemon, because if the Beelzemon has the floating capability, you can actually bottom deck it, and then they don't get the floating capability along with the Baumon effect. Really good against Quartz as well, potentially, but Quartz may stun your Tamers because they are suspended, so you're going to be really needing stuff in your trash, which can be a downside. That will be the most difficult one. Otherwise, making sure you save some pieces from your hand is really the way to go. But anyways, it doesn't really matter what memory you're at. You just push your Shoutmon up, and then you just basically DigiXROS into superior mode, and you just put everything as much as you can with different code names as you need. Now, a very cool ruling I learned is that because you're crossing with different codes, this Shoutmon initially doesn't count for that one code, because the DigiXROS might hear what I'm trying to say is you're actually allowed to use another Shoutmon in its name to put one underneath. So it's not like as if it was a duplicate, which is kind of interesting, which I learned from the ruling section. But yeah, that helps you decrease the cost by 1 furthermore, which is fantastic. So let's just quickly count here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then there is the Pikmon basically goes away, and then there's 11. So, you know, optimally you can play this for 4 costs, but on average I would say you would play this for 7 costs or 6 costs, so that you're building a humongous stack with lots of inheritables. You gain basically all the inheritables in here. And then what happens, like when you have this guy underneath as you're building this ginormous stack, you just bottom deck all your opponents one of their Digimon's like sources. And then because they have no sources, usually they don't have any protection effects going on anymore at that point. And you can just basically bomb that Digimon and get rid of it and remove anything you want. It would be kind of nice if it has Blitz. So then you can like swing for that turn, which would be nicer, in my personal opinion. So then, you can make a very big impactful play. The only downside is it doesn't Digivolve on top of anything else other than, having to hard play it with its DigiXROS combo, but that's about it. And once you remove that big thing that the opponent has, you have a super strong blocker on the board. You have all these nice inheritables, so then you can even just basically change the momentum and the tide of the game to really bring it back to your favor and just assert a lot of pressure right there, and then you can just win from there. And yeah, so a really, really nice card to play depending on the specific matchup you face against, and depending on how the specific scenario and the situation, you can really just sort of counter some decks just from playing this one single card. But of course, it's kind of hard to get to sometimes because you require so many sources, but it's not impossible to achieve. So it really feels like a very nice, cool anime protag moment when you do so. So super cool card. Definitely should include it. That will wrap up for the deck profile for today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We got lots more Digimon videos and content coming with BT12 deck profiles, so be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. If you guys just can't wait, I want to see early deck lists and first drafts made by me, then definitely join the Avault Club right now as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is Avault signing out.